Hello and welcome to Spectator Cast number 12. All the regular people are here. Fuzion, ZeroEffect, WindofMitsu, and myself, coolcmcgee. We were supposed to have JJJ and IRM as guests tonight, but IRM forgot, I guess, and JJJ got comcasted. So yeah.
Fully Comcast. 100% combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, welcome. Welcome back, Zach. Zach missed the week last week.
Yeah, and I missed the week apparently.
Oh, yeah. That was the week.
With that being said, before we go into anything, I do want to say congrats to Zeph for taking Summer Jam. He showing again why he is best in the scene right now. So I just wanted to get that out of the way.
Props to you, Zeph. Good win. JJJ did well as well. Second.
Props to all of top
Oh,
8.
yeah.
Shout out to Julie, top
quite a
8.
few people.
Yeah, Julie making her first top 8.
Shout out to Ruthless David.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ruthless Void is great. Yeah, I can't get that Julie's GI 4K comeback ring out of my head. You must have liked that, Zach. Leisha.
Which game was that? Aya?
No. It was
The
that Ivy player, I think, right? I think it was an Ivy player.
Oh, Amethyst Lady. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think. If I remember right. All I remember is she
I
was
remember
nearly
her
dead.
doing that. I remember her doing that to Aya after Aya had done two nightmare CEs and still didn't win the round.
Yeah, I really didn't catch any breaks in the matches I saw.
Yeah, usually I don't watch full, and I guess because I've played Caliber for so long now, it doesn't hold my attention like other newer games. But this one was actually pretty entertaining to watch all the way through. Like I watched whatever was on pools and the top 8 the next day. It was pretty good. And yeah, definitely props to Julie representing shit in my absence.
So I forget, what was the main reason why you couldn't attend Summer Jam?
Just scheduling, finances, and stuff. A
Yeah.
lot of things didn't work out for this weekend. But
All right.
I will be at NEC, so short of an emergency, there's no way I'm missing NEC.
Yeah. Everyone come to NEC. It's gonna be pretty big.
Did anyone
Yeah.
see the entrance, final numbers for each game for Summer Jam 9? Because I couldn't find it anywhere. I even tweeted at
For
Big
all the
E
games?
for the event. Like, what were
It should have been
numbers?
it should have been on the challenge thing.
The challenge.
Nobody's got time for that.
Well, then again, there should be a I'm not saying look at all the pools, but there should be one that lists the game and then the number of people that at least signed up. I mean, they don't take into account the people that signed up at the door, but there you go. Because I
I'm
know
looking
Mortal
for
Kombat had
something
about
more like the first result in Google. That's about as far as I usually take my research.
Well, you might have to dig a little deeper than that.
Google.
Man.
Oh man.
All right.
But
Yeah, good.
But yeah, I think Summer Jam was previously talked about on Pirates stream. So did we really have anything else to so much go over with besides that? Besides like congratulating everyone who was there, what happened, and top 8, and besides that?
Looked like a
What
good event.
matches did you? I mean, what matches did you guys see that
Or like
kind of
them.
stuck out?
JJJ coming back three games completely against Ninja Guy. I think that was one of the best.
Yeah.
I think that would probably be like my top 2, just the sole fact that basically I thought he was about to be just swept under the rug 3-0'd, and then it's like, well, but no, he adjusted, he corrected everything he was doing, then just pretty much just dominated the entire match, put everything in his pace, and then basically took the 3 games back actually extremely quickly.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say. I mean, that and the rest of Triple J's run up until Zeph, because that was one of the things that I've always felt Triple J was not quite the best at was adaptation late game. And so seeing him not only make that 3-game comeback against Ninja Guy, but then go on through the people he went through. He beat Ruthless Void after losing to him in winners. He beat IRM, and it was just he didn't have much luck against Zeph, but it was just seeing that entire build up to grand finals. He was really on a roll there, and that was good to see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, most definitely. That was my. What about you, McGee? What was your favorite match, or what you thought stuck out besides JJJ?
I only really watched top 8, so I don't have a. Yeah, I think Ruthless Void versus JJJ was probably my favorite match. Just
the first one or the second one?
The first one.
Okay.
I think another interesting match I saw. I don't know if this was pools or top 8, but I watched Ninja Guy play against Zeph, and I was thinking, oh man, this is just gonna be Zeph just me ripping through him. But surprisingly enough, he did put up a very good fight against someone who is regarded as pretty much on top of the world right now, and he played extremely well. Because the first, I think Zeph took the first 2 games, and I think Ninja Guy was making a similar comeback to Jay, but then I think Zeph's like, nah, I'm not having that, and shut him down quickly. But he was able to make a lot of quick adjustments. He made a lot of right moves, and his game started to look a lot more crisp. And I was like, this is impressive. Like Ninja Guy has shown how much he's developed over the many times I've watched him. So
Ninja Guy, well, first, that was pools, and it was a good match. I would say Ninja Guy at that tournament was even though he got 3rd place last year, that was probably the best I've seen him play. I'm basing it off of what he did as Viola, and then I watched some of the casual matches after the tournament where he beat Apple Boom and Lord Xavier and the Hilda thing, the side match that they had.
Yeah.
But it was just when Ninja Guy plays a character other than Viola, he seemed like it seemed like he struggled fundamentally, but this particular weekend it looked like he fixed a lot of things.
Yeah.
Just overall in his game, and on top of that has the execution for Viola. So he knocked out Moneymuffins twice. So
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, Moneymuffins is he's not a scrub. Definitely not.
It was surprising to see him there, though. Because everyone was. I think it was kind of almost like a last week thing where he says "Hey, everybody, I'm coming." It's like, oh, all right. I mean,
I haven't seen him at a tournament in a long time.
Oh yeah.
He said that before, and he wasn't there for whatever reason. But so when I saw him there, I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool that he came all the way out here. Hopefully, he comes back out for NEC.
I have a strong feeling he will. I mean, if he made the trip once, he does have a decent amount of time. Yeah, he would do it again, hopefully. So, I mean, it was interesting to watch him play because it was definitely a change from the most peers I'm used to watching, which is either Zeph being regarded as the best, and then I remember watching Silver, the French player, was not too bad, and then back when Ramon used to play. Back when Ramon used to play, but that was a long time ago, and then I don't really know much of anyone else to be worthwhile as a peer player besides those few.
Well, Ramon is probably the closest to Moneymuffin style, just very defensive.
Yeah.
And Ramon's always been really good at adapting.
Yeah.
So Moneymuffins, I think, is not quite as good on that end as Ramon, but he has a very solid, stubborn, just a stubborn neutral game that can make people frustrated. I don't think he really knows the matchups as well as maybe he should, like the Viola. I don't know if he knew the Viola matchup all that well, but just fundamentally, he's solid. So.
Oh, so you think he has just strong fundamentals as a player and everything like that, and all the experience kind of just helps him out a lot with playing people rather than, I guess, understanding the matchups.
Yeah, and I think the fact that he's proud of that kind of hurts him. Maybe he's not a big fan of the game. If that's the case, then all right, I understand. But I don't understand when people, and not just him, but there was another guy on Facebook who was saying how I don't just guard, I don't do all these things, I don't study
God.
frames, and I can still do it, and you can too, and is supposed to come across as positive and uplifting, but it's like, why would you be happy about not knowing all the things you can do in the game? Like, I don't understand how you can be proud of that.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, 100%.
So like
agree with
you're happy that you're
I mean, if it's in
limiting
the game,
yourself.
exactly. If it's in the game, then and you choose to ignore it, that's not. I don't see that as something to be celebrated. If you're still a good player, that's fine. But think of how much better you could be
Yeah, if you
if
had
you
all
had
this.
all the tools. You know.
It's like a major part of this game too. It's not like for me, for example, I don't do all that CE. What do you call it? Just guard CEs and stuff.
Right.
I mean, I usually just
I
lay there.
try it.
I mean, yeah, I try, but I don't practice it or anything like that. I think I know the input, but it happens so rarely that it's not a big part. But you have to just guard in this game. Like
Oh
you're
yeah, I agree.
severely limiting yourself if you don't. Severely.
Well, I mean, I know that wasn't a regular topic, but what do you think? Like, do you think there's certain matchups where you don't need it as much, or is it just universal?
I have to think about it.
Because I know for a fact Natsu, Maxi, and those two are the first one that jump out when Astaroth. If you don't just guard against those characters, you're making things a nightmare for you, and it's like, I don't know.
Against Ast? Yeah, right.
Yeah, like if you're fighting these characters, Natsu, Maxi, Astaroth, and you don't just guard, that's like, it's a different matchup for me.
Right.
Especially Astaroth, because he gives you free launches, and you need that to compete with his throw damage and counter hit damage.
Yeah. Like, Astaroth's so good if you don't just guard fully charged 4-4A, or the second hit of Bull Rush, the Bull Rush Brave Edge, and there's a couple other things.
Or anything after 4B on guard break.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, there's almost for every character you're gonna need at least some just guards. It's probably more in certain matchups than others, but it's neither here nor there. You should always have it ready. And there's a couple different ways to use it, because sure, you can just guard out of certain strings and other stuff like that, but you also use it when you're on offense if something gets blocked sometimes,
Right.
Like, you can protect yourself from like anything that comes for a short period of time. It's pretty important. So it adds a lot to your offense to have that.
It's a mid-range mix-up too. If people are running in with attacks, it limits what they can throw at you. Like, just guarding Pyrrha 6-6A is pretty much ideal.
Yeah.
But, so, I mean, I guess in Moneymuffins' case, I feel like he could be a stronger player than he is if he incorporates a lot of not only the new mechanics, but just trying to get at least a basic feel for how you fight the matchup, instead of trying to base everything in a 3-game set on trying to read the player. Because you might be leaving damage on the table that you don't have to, and now you're just making it harder on yourself.
Yeah. But I guess that's for Moneymuffins. But anyway, I guess anything else to really say about Super Jam, or like any of the players, I guess, that we saw were more outstanding or anything like that.
There was one, and for some reason I can't remember it right now.
Do you know who they played or anything like that, or no?
No. I'll probably remember it in a few minutes, but I'm proud of how Julie did. I'm proud of how even Amethyst Lady did. I think Julie beat Cross in pools.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Which is definitely a big deal, because he has more Laisha experience than a lot of people there. So yeah, props to her. She plays a very wild Laisha, and it seems to work. I don't know. Like, I mean, when I look back at those matches, there's some things I can take from it and try to incorporate more. But some of those were just like Julie reads, and they just were working really well for her.
Julie reads. That's gonna be a new thing.
They were, and I'm like, wow, I never would have done that, and I probably would have lost that round.
Yeah. It was an interesting time, but I guess nothing really else to put on that.
So something else about Summer Jam. It's not related to Caliber, but there was an
Yeah.
exhibition.
Oh boy, here we go.
Someone may have lost rather badly, and then they may have said that they shouldn't have lost, and lost again.
Oh man.
Are we perhaps talking about Sonic Fox versus Perfect Legend?
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
I mean, if I'm wrong, let me know.
Oh, we are.
I don't want to name names, but a speed record may have been set.
Is this? I haven't kept up. I haven't kept up with a lot of first to anythings outside of Caliber. But is this the first time that we've ever seen 13-0 in a first attempt?
I believe it's a first for most of us.
I think so.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Somebody else take this, because this is.
In short, there was a. Just because I lost doesn't mean I was defeated.
Well, I guess that's one way to look at it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I guess, yeah, and if you got destroyed, I guess you can't die.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What is dead
So-
will never die?
Fusion, you said before you felt kind of bad for him.
I did.
Alright.
Kind of. Maybe it was the look on his face throughout the entire thing.
Throughout the matches.
Silly straw hat he was wearing. I don't know what it was. I just really
straw
felt
hat.
like I wouldn't want to be sitting in his position. I'm not gonna. I want to put a
I wouldn't want to be
disclaimer on
PO
that,
right
that I
now.
know nothing about the guy at all.
Yeah.
That should have been a thing, because I know somebody said that in the chat, like after it was 5-0, and he just, I don't know, I guess he sat in a particular way that drew this guy's attention. He's like, man, I wouldn't want to be PL right now. And it's like, I was waiting for that to like flood the chat, for the next like 3 games.
And it was like after the 10-0. I mean, all right, props to him for sticking it out. He had to know.
I mean, you have no choice at that point.
Yeah.
I know. There have been people who have rage quit a live event, a live offline event.
Man.
But I mean, you had to know at like 6-0 when you weren't even getting rounds at that point that this is gonna be a 10-0. He had nothing left in the tank.
Yes and no. This is still Mortal Kombat. You can still like jank people for 3 games and then get your confidence back, but it's still like I didn't feel bad for him at all, and the reason was after the 10-0. Like when he got up on stage and tried to monologue his way into saving what was left of his dignity, that was like, okay.
Monologue.
He did.
Right.
He went up there. He's like, "Oh, this is going to be long-winded," and you just hear the crowd go boo, and it's just
Yeah,
like,
Well,
no.
yeah. I mean, I feel like they had him on the stage. They like hand him the mic. The spotlight is literally like on him. You just got your ass beat. Just
all
cold.
he had to do. I mean, Sonic Fox was, throwing dirt in his face or whatever for losing. All he
Yeah.
had to do was just say, "We got outplayed. Let's do this again at NEC."
Right.
That's all he had to do, and that
He
would have been fine. They could have,
Yeah.
he would have got a claps from some people. Some people would have shouted free, but he would have been fine. It wouldn't have been as bad. But then he goes and says, "Oh, well, I said I would beat your Aaron Black." And so
Right.
Big E comes up and says, "All right, well, let's go
Oh,
first to
Big E.
No,
3."
Big E.
I know it's like, damn, man.
Now, that's a guy I feel bad for. His voice was destroyed.
Man.
You're like, I feel worse. For Biggie.
But
Man.
and then he's like, "All right, let's do a first to 3 with Aaron Black." And so they did, and he gets beat. Not just loses the first to 3, but loses 3 straight games. And it's like, what? Like, this is why you don't do that shit. This is why you just let your play speak for you. But, maybe that was a lesson he needed.
He
And
started
go-
out correct on the mic. He's like, because Sonic Fox basically laid it out for him. Hey, I've played you in 4 games.
He gave him an out.
Yeah. Well, he's like, I played you in 4 games. I've beaten you in every one, and you've had an excuse for every one. So what's your excuse this time? That was how Sonic Fox handed over the mic to Perfect Legend.
Yeah.
His first response was, now I got to give him credit because his first response was, "Hey, I've been saying you're like a god in this game. I mean,
that's where he fucked up for me.
It's like
you knew the butt was coming. You
you're
knew.
great, you know. Well, yeah, he should have stopped there, but then he just wanted a little dignity back, you know. Hey, but maybe I could do better with, against your Aaron Black. That was just like Big E jumping on the stage. Oh, you can beat that? All right, we want a first to 3 right now.
He said, no, I told you I would beat your Aaron Black. It's like basically saying the only reason you won is because Katana, and I can beat your Aaron Black. And it's like, all right, well, if you don't win now. And the thing is, it's not good for him even if he wins. Because, all right, let's say he beats Aaron Black 3-2. Like, how do you discount the 10-0 that happened just, like, minutes before that?
Leave the venue.
Like, how can he walk away and be proud of himself, say, yeah, I beat his Aaron Black 3-2, but you lost 10 straight to Katana, so... like, once that rematch happened, he lost. He was screwed either way.
Yeah. It was entertaining, though, for sure.
Oh, yeah. It was.
Yeah. Let's not forget the ending, because that was, to me, the funniest part of the entire... The funniest part of the entire exhibition was Spooky just cutting the stream immediately when that massacre was over.
He did the whole, like, we're all free now, you know, and usually I love that one, but the chat was like, we don't want to be free yet. Please don't free us.
But it was just the visual. Like, I don't know how to really explain it without you having to see it, but it was just like, you hear Spooky going on about, oh, this is free, and Yipes is like, this is free. It's like, all right, I'm going to set you all free as soon as this is over, and as soon as the brutality or whatever came up, you just see the little Asian dude frozen in place waiting for Spooky to press the button, and he presses it.
No, Yipes left before the first attendant was over.
I know, but they were all saying it was free, and it would just led up to that, like, you knew it was coming. He's like, all right, as soon as it's over, and it was immediately, as soon as it was over, you're all free now, and the chat just blows up, like, no, don't do it. Punches the wall, everything falls down, Perfect Legend's dignity's falling with it. It's like the whole visual was so funny. Like, that to me couldn't have ended any better.
Oh,
like, what were we gonna wait? What were we gonna wait for? Another PL monologue? Like, at that point, it was. What else could be said?
Anything. I mean, who doesn't want to see it? It's a destruction of a lifetime. Like, you want to see what's gonna happen.
Like, the only thing that would have been better than that is if they didn't cut, and instead of Sonic Fox grabbing the mic, you just zoom in on, like, the crowd, and they just give him, like, that same look, like that deadpan look, like, come on, man. Pack it up.
Oh, man.
That would have been the only thing that would have beat that. Just silent crowd.
That Sonic Fox guy, though, man, that is a scary player.
That fan.
Yes. Yeah.
Very good player.
Dominant, man.
It's awesome to watch.
Yeah, I don't get it, but it's obviously happening. It's obviously consistent, so there must be something to it.
It's the hat.
Yeah.
Powerful hat.
I mean, there are players who will, like, get him to the point where he's about to lose, and then he just somehow does everything right, or maybe the other person psychs themselves out, or I don't know, but it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he lost against what was that guy's Honeybee at that Evo, right? I mean, he has been.
Wait, was it?
Yeah, I think he got knocked to losers by Honeybee.
Okay. I know he went to losers pretty early.
Yeah.
And then he went through losers to get to grand finals. Which usually is what seems to happen. Like, he usually ends up in grand finals and losers.
I think he switched between a couple characters to end up beating Foxy Grandpa, but it was a close match. He didn't look, unbeatable.
Well, no, he made a show out of Foxy, I think.
Did he?
Remember he had to win 6 games, and Foxy I think won 1 in the entire, maybe 1 or 2 in the entire, plus the run back. But who was it? Somebody? I don't remember. Evo was too long ago. I'd have to look back. But there was a couple of players at Evo that were like shocking everybody. One of them beat Rio before top 16 or something like that. Yeah, like so far, Forever King and DJT are the only ones proven. Well, Dizzy that one tournament, but that was like when Raiden was broke. But since then, it's only really been DJT and Forever King that have beaten him and taken him out of tournaments.
Anyway, that was an interesting time.
Yeah.
I don't want to turn this into combat cast.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So next upcoming tournament, yay! TFC.
There you go. You're home.
My home that I've failed to defend twice.
Has it been twice, really?
Well, the first time I was my first tournament, and I played on the PlayStation Pack for the first time, so that was
CEO though, wasn't it?
No, that was I went to the very first TFC. That was my first one. Then I went to CEO, but yeah, the first TFC I did terrible at. CEO I did well, and then the next TFC is when I got second, and then I lost by 2 A plus B at the very end. So that's always a great memory for me.
Well, it's a good memory for me. In grand finals anyway. No.
Oh man, don't worry, man. Those replays are gone, so nobody can say anything.
That's true, and it kind of sucks because I wanted to watch my Iron match.
I only wanted to watch that because I would at least have some preparation for IRM. So pretty much I'm just watching Jay play him. But yeah, the people that are coming, I guess, are worth a notice. Brett here is coming, Mr. Fuzion.
Yep.
Yeah, Dime said he should be appearing. IRM will of course be here to defend his title again.
Is Jimbo going?
I'm not positive. Jimbo, are you going to be here, or is it going to be like another last minute thing? Yeah, no, because he's in chat, so I might as well ask him. But I've asked him before, and he says he's not certain. But Jim's a possibility. I haven't really heard anybody from the Philly area really besides Avalon coming down. So I guess Cross would be another person.
Yeah, Cross will be there. Apple Moon will be there.
Yeah.
Don't you have Winged Pirate right there in South Carolina? I mean, you call in reinforcements, man.
He said he's not coming.
No.
School starts that day, apparently.
Yeah, he said
Even
Jim
though it's
says
on the
last
weekend.
minute. He says nature of rehearsal process. Yeah, so Jim's a 50-50 chance. So it'll be similar.
Is Winged Pirate any good? Like I've never played him, so I honestly don't know. No.
He's like I don't want to be mean to him because like he kind of just falls apart. Like he'll have a good game plan at first and he'll think he's like, hey, he's playing pretty smart. And then he'll just like, no, never mind, I'm an idiot and I'm just gonna start doing stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Which like he agrees on because I've talked to him about this. I'm like, because he gets really like when he played like Uvmatic in the online tournament, he was actually decent in the very beginning, but then he just fell apart because he was scared and like because you don't want to lose and he has those nerves. And he's like, I don't want to lose.
Right.
So then he said he kept falling apart, and he's like, and I'm like, that's the issue. I'm like, you can be a good server, just that the fact that you kind of have to get over that fact of being scared. So I mean, so he's not terrible. It's just he's not to where you would think he would be. Like superb. I guess like I don't know where you would put him on like in terms of game, but he's not bad. So
okay.
He just doesn't have like a good base idea of. I mean, he's not going to be doing like IGDR punishes or like probably A slide Bs where they're super free.
No.
He just goes out there, does some moves, tries to throw you a couple times, but he probably won't even do what's working. That's one problem.
I mean, he'll try and like bait out like an idea. Like sometimes he'll throw out a move, then he'll backstep and he'll think that you're going to like come in and do it. But if you block it, you pretty much free punish off IGR. So that's one thing he will try and do. I mean, that's kind of what I've seen a lot of servers will do. Like basically they have like that key move, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna back up, and then if you hit something, I'm gonna do the IGR regardless if you are moving towards me or anything. So
I mean, let's be honest. There's no reason to play Cervantes and not do IGDR. Like I don't like the character, but the only reason I would play him is to try and get IGDR in combos and in punishes and things.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like that's
I mean,
the selling point for me.
That and A slide B is just stupid level.
Well, yeah, but I just mean like that would turn me on to playing the character would be IGDR.
yeah.
Yeah. 4B Brave Edge is good too, right? Is it 4B Brave Edge?
Yeah, that's really
that
good.
Is so dumb.
Yeah, it's really
That is
good.
so dumb.
That's all I do when I play Cervantes. I just do that.
I forget about it sometimes, but then it's like, oh, that's right, I have this, and it hits grounded.
Yeah.
And it launches in the air.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. But Alex does make a good point. He says he has kind of more tricks than mind games, which is another flaw of his
All
part.
right,
Yeah,
so he
I would
pretty much
agree.
just needs more experience than them.
Yes,
All right, that's okay.
but
But
I guess
he's not like one of those random, like the Facebook posters that are just these random online warriors that have no other thing to do besides try and talk shit.
Nah, he does. I think he's long past those days where he was like that. But since now he's coming off tournaments and whatnot, he's kind of like he's actually acting like the nice person that he is, because he can be a really great guy, really friendly dude. Like, yeah, but
Okay.
I guess that's like everybody who comes offline. But I mean, but the
Yeah.
thing he's changed. Yeah, I mean, I get okay. I can't say that for everybody, but but it's different. So
No, yeah,
Fenris.
that's always good.
I hate that guy. Offline.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
God, I can't stand him.
Care to elaborate? I've never met him. I just see what he posts.
He's douchey. He's the reason people don't like Chicago people.
Oh, really? Wow.
He's very smug. Like, I don't even want to go into it. But basically, he just goes around telling people what they're doing wrong, and like nobody wants to hear it. And then he doesn't
Okay.
even end up entering the tournament. He's just a classy guy all around.
Gotcha.
He does the same thing with his mic on and stuff
You know-
online too. It's just a douche.
I mean that sucks, but at the same time, there's a little bit of respect that I can give for being both, like being the same way offline as you are online. Like, because there's something to be said about that, even though it's not, you don't want to hang around the guy. It's like, at least you're not being phony, like when
Yeah.
you say what you say.
Yeah. Probably the only person I've actually had to just tell straight up, I don't care what you're telling me right now. That's all. That's like the
Wow,
only interaction
okay.
I had with him. He just I'm like, I don't care what you're saying right now.
Wow, man.
He's like, okay.
Okay, well.
I
Fair
know.
enough.
But I guess people are coming. I'm looking forward to Dime coming, because I remember when I played him at CEO, that was just. It
That's
was
right, you never met Dime. I forgot about that.
I met him at CEO. I did meet him there. I did
Oh,
play.
right.
I did play him. I didn't win a game, but the fact was basically I made everything come close, because I don't know, just at CEO I think I played like the most simplest Mitsurugi I ever could, which was basically just running like the constant 50-50s and just throwing out a poke here and there, and then that would eventually throw you, which I mean. And for Dime, who was was the best there, because hence he won. So I mean, pretty
Right.
much like he kind of just pretty much like just took advantage of the fact that basically I think at the time I did not have a great grasp on the Valdo matchup. It's just so fact that like I don't know, just him constantly being in back turn, and basically like him just like almost like just basically just doiling around me, which was annoying, or as it is, like I can't like. I don't know. Basically, I always hated basically the fact that when I was always trying to do like a 2KB, and him being a back turn, I couldn't really utilize that, because him being a back turn cancel outs the last and third hit, which puts you in grounded. So I'd be
Right.
hitting him twice, and then he'd just be standing right back up. I'm like, all right. It's like I actually do not know what that puts me out in terms of frames. So I'm like, this is awkward. And then it's like, well, I'm back to getting my ass hit by everything he throws out, which. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing him again, even though I have not been playing a lot recently. But honestly, I'm a lot different from what I am now. So it's
Dime,
yeah.
Dime is he's a scary player. Like, I don't. I'm trying to word this as accurately as possible, but it's like he's really good, but in a weird, like, kind of way. Like, I don't really know how to explain it, but Like I feel like when we play, the matches go even, and then something happens where he can just walk away from me, and I feel like I have to do something that always whiffs.
Yeah.
Like it's a weird. I don't really know how to put it unless you would like have the match like on video or something. But he'll just like be in back turn and just walk backwards.
Oh, yeah.
And
It's like I'm
something
out.
about I mean Valdo's walk speed is pretty good anyway.
Yep.
But something about that is just like makes me want to commit, like even like 6xb, which basically is the back step catcher for Alacia. It's like it'll just whiff and then he'll punish with something, and it's like, all right, so I can't attack from 3/4 of the screen away. What am I supposed to do now?
Yeah.
Like I can run up to him, I guess, but I don't know. It's a weird kind of play style that just really is effective.
Yeah,
And he's
effective.
good.
Yeah.
He's good. I'm not,
And what
I'm
I-
not saying it's a
ahead.
gimmick, but it's a weird spacing thing that he has.
And it works. That's the thing about it. It's weird, but it's good. So it's like you really don't know what to say about it. It's like, right.
Yeah. And I know the matchup. I played Valdo a lot. It's just something about the way he uses his spacing is just different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he is he's one of yeah, I'm trying to think how to phrase this. He's very dedicated to his plan. Like it's kind of impressive. He doesn't play so much on feel like some people would, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like he knows what his game plan is, and he's more than willing to just follow it all the way to the end. Like I played him in one match and he got an endless stage. He had no problem if we exchange a few hits, just goes into back turn, just uses that walk speed, and he'll just walk forever. We'll run the timer down to 0 if we need to.
I think I know what match. Was this actually a pool match or anything like that? Because I swear,
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I remember watching this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Going
I remember
back.
thinking about it at the time. I'm like, all right, well, that's
Yeah.
that.
I remember me and Dime got into a discussion about whether infinite stages should ever be in a Soul Calibur game, and he of course loves them for that reason. That you just walk away. I'd be like, all right, I got a life lead, peace, and just walks away.
Yeah. He does some interesting stuff because like sometimes like even when he's like close up, because I can tell like he has no issue working up close, but I feel like it's not a range he likes being at, because I'll play him and he'll be like almost like very statue guard at like very close ranges, because he's probably thinking like, man, I don't like being at this range, like this is not where I want to be. So he'll play a very very patient game, and either he'll do like two of one things, like he'll either find his way to back out and then basically end up whiff punishing you, or he'll basically he'll sit there and then like at the split second he will immediately hit out 666B, which is which is the thing. And like it gets me all the time, and I'm like, God damn, this man's reactions are ridiculous, because he knows exactly when to do it, because he's not being stupid about it, because he's being extremely patient, which makes him very scary, because you have to play patient against him, otherwise you will be.
I just try to guard break him all the time.
Yeah, I know, because like and
that's usually what works for me.
Exactly. Because like he's already in that when he's in that close situation, you can just rack up the guard damage and all that. So it's like he can't stay there forever. So he has to take a risk, which I know he's not very comfortable doing. But if you can read that risk, you can end up punishing him greatly and then taking him down. So I guess that's one thing I'll have to look out myself when I play Dime. But
So McGee, what is this?
What?
Is this this Fenris story?
What?
I don't know. There's a Fenris story that was
about a
being talked
helicopter.
about in chat.
Alex
It might help.
told me one time, he tells it a lot, or did, and
Oh, is that Alex J in the pink?
yeah,
The satanic. Okay, all right.
yeah, and they were playing Saints Row, and he just kept blowing up Fenris's helicopters, and it like made Fenris cry, like
Yes.
What? Wow. Like literally cry, or like
yeah,
just
God damn it. Dude, Alex,
what?
you just. Oh, I feel like I should buy you dinner or something for Justin. I just feel happier right now. I really don't like Fenris at all.
Wow, he literally cried. And this was how long ago?
a couple of years.
Oh man,
I'm
how old is he?
Yes.
I don't know. Pretty old.
Pretty old.
late 20s.
Pretty
or
old.
something.
Okay.
Spent all of the
Oh
day
my.
leveling this guy.
Oh
Yes.
man, it was a. I remember this story. It's stupid.
Wow. All right. Well, again, I've never met the guy, but good to hear, I guess.
Jeff.
Yeah.
I thought it was like some tournament match or something that he like rage quit or something like that. Like I thought that's where it was headed. But the helicopter in Saints Row, that's what did him in. All right.
Serious business.
Okay.
Actually, I have a thing. Hey, Fusion. Since I'm assuming you're coming to win, I would hope so. But anyway, what is your plan against since he will be defending champ?
Do whatever Zeph did.
It's probably gonna be closer than it was last time. He said he's not gonna do 2 A plus Bs on me anymore, so I'm not happy about that. I got a few rounds from him doing that. I don't know. He's good. Just guard stuff, and hopefully I am in the zone with my throwing and throw breaking, because that is always a big part of how I get a lot of damage. I honestly did practice like last month how to trying to recognize while standing B plus K and just guard it, because I think I get a 236B punish on that.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. But that's
Yeah. But then he can
I
cancel
hope
it
it
too.
doesn't come to that. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, he
I
can
hope
cancel it too, and that's
he could,
so.
but
If you
all
try
I
to just
risk is a
guard,
just guard, so it's no big deal.
Yeah, pretty much should just be Brett just doing a little flash with this with that
Right.
thing, and then nothing's really gonna happen past that.
Right, because it's either gonna be that. Hopefully, I can catch him with some 4-4 A's. You know, because
yeah,
it's 50-50 or so. When it sometimes while standing B plus K will crush it, which sucks. But
What
sometimes
about 236A? Does it crush that?
possibly, and yeah, maybe.
Because
He's good
that's
enough.
always been the horizontal for Pat for me. Like it was 236A. I guess 44A is pretty good too. Yeah, because it's -2.
It depends. If hopefully if
And
we're
on
in
counter hit.
right on counter hit,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be counter hit every time if I hit him with it while he's doing while standing B plus K. And if I have I get a free CE even off of it, which is great.
Alex, I've seen IRM cancel quite a bit, but he seems to always go for the A after the cancel, which is the one where he does the high and then the kick. And probably because it's the fastest option, but probably also one of the more riskier ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you see it coming. That's usually the option he goes to when he does the cancel.
Alex makes an interesting point. He says he's never really seen IR do the cancel much. Yeah, because sometimes when I play IR, he doesn't do the cancel from his B plus K thing. So usually, like, he'll either, like, he tests you on it. I know he does, because, like, if you like to hit buttons basically after it, like, he'll immediately go for the A option and just pretty much say, like, sorry, you can't do that. And then, like
he'll do it go ahead.
Oh, yeah, but see, like, after that, like, then, like, sometimes I think I'll even see him do, like, well, yeah, will continuously just do the full thing and get the K Brave Edge up, because I think, I forget what people do. I think people will try to do, like, a slow move because they're predicting the A this time. So they'll go for, like, a move that will, like, a slower move that will go, like, try and go underneath it or something like that. And so then he's like, oh, recognize that. And he's like, oh, so you're going to try and do something slow. Let me hit you with the Brave Edge kicks for, like, a ton of damage. So.
I don't think he gets the Brave Edge kicks for the cancel, though.
No, I mean, I'm saying basically like he doesn't like I've never seen him do it. I would just see like a follow up of either just doing the A or the K, because like he immediately he'll hit you with it. Yeah, he'll hit the ball using B plus K and you're blocking it. But like if you're like really trying to like follow up and like per se like I guess put the thing in like your terms, so it's like if you're trying to hit afterwards, he'll do the A. And if you're like if you're trying to read the A so you can actually continue pressure, he would do the K and hit you with that.
Well, what I'm saying is he's in a different stance if he does it. And if he doesn't do it, like if he cancels, it's a different stance.
Oh, you're talking about. Oh, yes. Now I remember what you're talking about. The
so
cancel.
When he fakes it, when he cancels rising B plus K, he'll go into. I don't remember the names of all his stances, but it's the same one he gets after 6A.
Yeah, it's the I know it's like the A and the K. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. completely forgot about that, to be honest. I thought like when you return to cancel, I thought you were just saying he immediately just cancels, like going out of stance, like he just hits you, then he just goes back into blocking. But
no, it's no. But he'll normally do it at mid range because that way, I guess, maybe he anticipates somebody trying to whiff punish him or just guard it or whatever, so he just cancels it and does the A to maybe catch you pressing buttons. I don't know the entire mindset behind it, but that's just what I've seen him do.
Yeah. But
anyway, I'm just going. I'm just going to have fun, like I always am. Actually, I really don't have high hopes for any tournament I go to. In fact, I hope people will just play casuals with me on Friday because I thought the tournament was on Friday, so I made sure to book my flight like before. I'll be there before noon. So, but now that I know that our tournament is on Saturday, I don't know what we're gonna do on Friday except play video games. I hope.
games.
But I don't know if some people don't want to play their main in casuals and stuff, which I understand. But no, I don't care. I just want to play.
Well, that kind of brings us to one of the topics. Was you basically just said that you just go there to enjoy yourself, have fun, play games, whatever. So with that mindset, do you think that it matters at all when you show up to a tournament with your kind of mindset or more with a mindset with I have to win or I'm going there to win? Like your confidence level, how much do you think that actually affects your play at the end of the day?
Well, for me, the pressure to like try to, all right, I really want to win this tournament, blah, blah, blah. It's already it's like a huge weight added to try to play. It's not like just playing in my living room here, which honestly, even when there's so much stress involved in that I end up not even enjoying the tournament at the end of the day. And I've been to enough tournaments that I don't like to play for that anymore. I like to go just to play people, really. And that's why it's really annoying sometimes when there's nowhere to play casuals because you're just standing around for like 6 to 8 hours just watching mostly other games being played and stuff like that. It's just tiring. But no, I mean, for me, it doesn't work to be like so cutthroat about that. And I've seen it not work for people in my area too. But there's other people where it works perfectly for them. I feel like, I think Eris always says like people need a little bit of that fear or something in a tournament to really dig in. Yeah, anger, what have you. I just play better when I'm relaxed. I really do. Because
I agree.
I'm not thinking so much about each individual thing that happened, and then I kind of open up my game a little bit more. And even when I'm getting hit, you still kind of need to have your eye on the bigger picture. I mean, you get 3 rounds. You have to win 3 rounds. So being hit by one thing is not as important as like taking over the whole momentum of the game. So when you're so nervous about I don't want to lose 1 round because then I'm down I'm down a round, you're just not going to play correctly, and at least I don't. But that's how I feel about it. I just play, enjoy it.
What about you, Wind?
It's strange because like most of my tournaments I come with a lot of confidence. I really want to win because I guess that's me. Like I almost want to say like it's most especially for TFC because I feel like I have like more like I have more of a reason to win that because besides like my own little home turf kind of thing I guess God. Hang on. I need to think about this for a second. No, because it's weird. Because I do have a lot of confidence, and I really do want to win almost every tournament I go. Even though like it's weird because I will since I talked to Jay so many times. Like the thing is like it's like his like almost like his confidence does not affect his game plan. Like he will go into I know like he has a lack of confidence, but like you would think that would like mess with his mind and like being like say like oh I'm gonna lose to so and so, but then like he won't and he'll win. It's like. Oh, like, all right. Well, I guess that this is that changed everything, but it's like, I see that it's weird because it just does not affect him at all. Like he'll say like he'll lose. So
I mean, to be fair, Triple J, he's aware of how good he is. It's not a thing where he goes to tournament. He might go to tournaments and expect to lose. but it's not one of those things where he goes there thinking that he can't win this. It's one of the, it's a weird like middle ground
Yeah.
where he knows, all right, I'm capable, but it might not happen. So I just have to be prepared for if it doesn't happen, and that's kind of his outlook on it.
Yeah, because I remember.
Me,
Yeah, go ahead.
for me, it's more like on tournament day, I think I can win it, and it's not. It doesn't matter how many times I got beat the night before in casuals or whatever.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I don't get to a point where I'm like, this is my tournament to take, and force that extra pressure on me. Because when I get like that, and I just start, getting angry at the fact that I shouldn't be losing to so and so, or I shouldn't be losing rounds like this, then I start playing more reckless, and then it gets worse.
Yeah.
So, and the only exception was that one time at Winter Brawl that I've mentioned on this podcast before. But outside of that, usually if I'm just relaxed, I'm able to figure. Huh?
Sorry. Read chat.
I was able to. I'm able to figure out what I need to do better.
Yeah.
And when I'm just relaxed.
Yeah.
Sounds violent. But actually, I think I've kind of focused on what I said. Like, how much confidence do I have? Like the first day when like it's kind of like pulls or anything like that. I guess I'd say I'm not like fully confident. I'm kind of seeing like, all right, it's time to like observe and like take what I know from people. But of course, I can't be all that because I got to get to the next day. I have to win these things before that. But because like the first day, like coming honest, like I'd never gotten so mad. I think on the first day of the one TOC because I had lost to two people already who I didn't think I would lose to. Because when I lost to Cross and then I lost to Rakudo, I was almost like I was about to go I was going like ballistic, and then like I began to lose to Apple Boom, and then like you can even ask Alex.
Oh, that match was hilarious.
You could ask Alex. You can see how mad I was getting because the sole fact that he would just 2-2B every time, and I thought he would at least change. And I'm like,
he was 90 for 100 on 2-2B.
I was getting so pissed, and I'm like, you know what, screw this. So I literally would knee him every single time, and it would work. And I was getting so flustered, and I was like, this is. I was getting you could like see almost I guess like a vein popping on my head, and I'm like, this is bullshit. And I guess that almost kind of helped me in a way, like my rage gave me I guess almost to start focusing, and like I don't know, it's weird, like because I think I play good whether if I'm pissed or I'm not. So because then like tournament day came top 8, and I'm like, all right, I'm like, hey, so you're playing Zach, and then I'm like, I lost. I'm like, oh, I lost. Well, shit, I'm in losers now.
Right.
So, and I'm like, this is great. So then I guess I almost would say like I wrote off like all what I had learned in my anger from like the previous matches, and then I immediately just started taking out Rakudo and Cross 3-0, and then I'm done with this. And then I came playing you, and I'm like, all right, now this is where I actually had to calm down, because I guess like another thing, like in terms of like how I respected them in a weird way, like because I really want to say I did not respect. Like Cross or Rakudo one bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I just really thought like, oh man, this is like they're good, but they're not what my definition of good is. And then I realized like, all right, I can't play like a fucking kind of cocky douchebag. So I'm like, all right, let me take this down a bit, and I kind of played on my terms. And then I continued playing that, and then I played you, and then I won,
Right.
and I was like, yeah, and I'm like, all right, so this is something this is the kind of the way I have to play, where like I kind of have to get past the rage to get to find the nirvana at the end, which I can play well. So I guess I want to say that I always have high confidence going into tournaments, I guess would be my final thing. So
well, the thing is, I mean, I kind of want to, since we originally had in mind IRM and Jay to be on this, that I brought this question up specifically for that reason. IRM being the picture of a guy who is always confident, always, pumping himself up before a tournament, versus Triple J, who goes into pretty much every match like, oh, I could lose this. And I was interested to hear both of their takes on it, since both are still pretty accomplished players, even though they have differing mental states going in. But I mean, don't get anybody wrong. Like, if you talk to Triple J in person on tournament day, he's confident, but it's more of I don't want to let my confidence show because it could come back to haunt me, like the PL situation, like a situation we saw in Soul Calibur 4 between Mick and Something Unique, like the LP Blue Boy situation, he wants to avoid that, so he tries to be more humble and realistic about it, even though he knows, all right, I'm pretty good. I'm not going to go 0-2. I'm pretty guaranteed to make top 8, but after that, who knows?
Yeah. You know who I think it doesn't work well for is Ao from Japan, Tekken player. Do you guys know who that is?
Yeah.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, top
I mean,
2, Tekken 7, just godlike at all Tekkens. Yeah.
Yep. It's like second place in every Tekken. And I really feel it has to do with he just gets even the matches he wins. I just feel like this guy looks so nervous the whole time. He pulls through, but it just he was crying for the medal ceremony, literally crying on stage. Even though Japan got first and second, the Koreans were like consoling him, like it's all right, man.
Yeah,
You're gonna be okay.
I mean, to be fair, that does kind of suck. Like, if you're always second,
Yeah.
like that's gotta suck too. I mean, I know it's better than being third or worse, but still.
Yeah.
Right. No, I mean, it really just comes down to I just don't feel like I'm gonna improve well enough on tournament day to be able to beat somebody that I'm otherwise not going to be able to beat. Like, I just feel like if I practiced well enough or I was capable of it, then I usually play pretty consistent. So I'm either going to win or lose just on whether or not I can beat this guy.
Right.
I mean, there's, some people advocate, okay, just don't go into the next match. Just hang on, think about it, stop the momentum. I've waited a couple times, but after a while, I'm just like, I don't even know what I'm waiting for right now. I'm not even thinking of anything new. I pretty much know what I got hit by. I'd like to not get hit by that again this round.
Yeah.
Well,
but I don't know what they're going to make changes too, probably. So we're just.
The other thing it does is it stops the momentum, and that's what I use it for.
Yeah.
So, like, if somebody just really just beat the shit out of me in this round or went up 2 games, it's like, okay, I know what I have to do, but I still want to take the time anyway, just so that he comes down from his, like, that build of momentum, that adrenaline high or whatever it is. And it's like, it's almost like starting the entire game over, in a sense. That's what I've used it for. There have been times, like the one time I fought Jimbo, I forget what tournament it was, but it was in pools. And he was up on me 2-1. That was one of the times I can remember where I took time and actually tried to think what I wasn't doing that I should be. And it ended up working out for me, but normally if I take time, it's just to let things settle down. So it's like, all right, it's almost like starting the match over.
Yeah. It's just like Muhammad Ali says. I can just hear Wind cringing. And the fight is won or lost far away from witnesses, behind the lines, in the gym, and out there on the road long before I dance under those lights. I heard that like a year or 2 ago.
Yo, man, that's deep.
It's about what you put in outside of the match. Now that you're there, you just have to execute. And
yeah. Excellence
like
is a habit,
boxing.
not a goal. Yeah, I've heard a lot of quotes similar to that.
Oh man, and I like boxing. That's the funny part.
He's turning you off boxing now because of Muhammad Ali quotes.
No, man, I appreciate it.
It's just poor delivery, I think, is what it comes down to.
Because you say it kind of monotone, and he was kind of,
exactly
not that.
This guy's like, I'm done with this.
Like when you did that quote, I'm like, he's
viewers.
reading. It's like, yeah, he's reading something. It's taking too long.
Dancing under the lights.
That's right, man.
But yeah, so in a tournament set, you really only have but so long to adapt. And Moneymuffins, coming off of Summer Jam, made a post that basically says that he doesn't enjoy the tournament format because it allows for too much random factor in who's better than who, because there's not enough time in a first to 3 to really get to see who's the better player, since usually you find that out with more extended sets like first to 5 and first to 10. Does anyone else agree with that, or
I don't.
is Moneymuffins just being salty?
I don't know that I think one particular set style proves you're better than the other player, because I think if a player can adjust over a long set and a short set, that's better than just being good at like long sets, And
Yeah.
if we're doing everything based on tournament setting, it's better to be able to be good in a shorter set because we play shorter sets, like
Right.
unless it's Topanga League or something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, because I feel like the goal is to get that. Like, if you can adapt in a 20-game set, that's great. But you want to, as getting better as a player, you want to make that 20 go to 10 and then get to 5, to where you don't have to take 20 games to get to the peak of where you can play, and it doesn't take you that long to figure out your opponent. So you would think, while it's true that some people do better in longer sets, wouldn't the goal ultimately be to make the amount of time it takes to adapt shorter? Like, to the point where you can eventually adapt after 1 game or adapt after 2 games?
Yeah. Brian makes a good point. He says all that shows that he sucks at first to threes, and that's kind of like a player problem, to be honest. Like,
Well, right, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
some players do better in longer sets. I know LP for the longest time had said that he does better in longer sets, but he found a way to make that shorter.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't have to take a first to 10 for him to show that he can compete. He can do it in a first to 3 or a first to 2.
Yeah. That's where I kind of feel like that should be the kind of thing for everyone. Like, if like you understand, like, yeah, it's a little hard, but like that's something that you must kind of do and fix on your own. Because like, yeah, like this, I don't think this is ever going to change where it's like they're going to make it longer in tournaments, because God knows that would take, well, forever in time and this and other reasons. But it's like, ah, man, I'm trying to think, like, really expand on this more.
Yeah, I think they should keep tournaments as it is. I wouldn't want to make it longer, even if it is a better indicator, if that's the case. But
it could always be worse.
Tournaments, yeah. Oh yeah, it can be much worse.
We could be Japan style where they do first to ones.
It just blows my mind.
See, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. I can't understand that. But for Soul Calibur 4, we always did 2 out of 3. And I know you guys came in at 5, but when they were debating making it 3 out of 5, I was one of the guys that's like, well, wait a minute. I kind of like 2 out of 3. It gives a higher chance for, upsets and stuff like that. And I thought that was just, like, for me, that was hype to see somebody who wasn't expected to win. But after playing 3 out of 5, it's like, this is kind of like a good medium where, yeah, you can still be gimmicked, but it's not as likely to happen in a 3 out of 5 versus 1 game or 2 games.
Yeah.
Like, if you can beat somebody 3 games straight, even if you're doing a first to 10, that's still somewhat convincing. Like, if you get off to a start like that. And again, it also depends on how well you know the player, how well you know the matchup, and things like that, which we already talked about with Moneymuffins.
Yeah.
But, like, we had a tournament in Soul Calibur 4, Full Speed Aerial Kicks, which was a 60-person round robin, and all the matches were 2 out of 3. But, like, that would be the only way you could truly determine, all right, who was the best player on this weekend, because he played everybody. And hopefully we get to do something like that again for, if not Soul Calibur 5 and Soul Calibur 6, but that first one was a mess. As fun as it was a mess to try and run. So hopefully that will, maybe we'll get to see it again. I don't know, but I think first to 3 is fine for this kind of a game. I actually think other games should adopt first to 3, like Mortal Kombat, for example. But I guess it also depends on how many people enter. Like, if you have 200 people enter and you make the tournament sets longer, then that could cause scheduling problems and stuff too. So I think this is kind of a good medium. I don't think it should really be higher than this.
Yeah, I can agree on. I can definitely agree on that. I agree on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm closer to agreeing with him than disagreeing with him, I have to say, because, I mean, I've always, first to 10 to me shows which player is better. I mean, better is already, it's kind of a mixed thing, because better at what? Like playing long sets or playing short sets, or
Right. Yeah.
better, so, but I mean, as far as like their capabilities, I guess is what the word I'm looking for. I feel like you're gonna see everything that they have in a first to 10, even a first to 5. I've seen some swings like in a first to 10 where somebody goes up 5-2, 5-1, and the other guy
Right.
comes back like 7-6. So I can't even say definitively that a first to 5 is the end all. But
Well,
I also come from the era of 2 out of 3s. Like when I started playing this game and came to a couple tournaments, I'm like, wow, so just every match is 3 out of 5 now? That's great.
Yeah.
I really like this format, actually.
right, and that's what I was. Go ahead.
You had to like earn your way to get to a 3 out of 5 match, and that didn't happen till like maybe semifinals if you were lucky, but more than likely winners finals, losers finals, and then 4 out of 7 grand finals.
Right.
But yeah,
Party Wolf just made a point. No, I mean I didn't mean to cut you off, but Party Wolf just made a point that I was going to make when you were done anyway. Where first to 10 basically, if anything, shows who has more mental stamina as opposed to just being good at the game. They could just, some people burn out quickly, and at that point, it's not so much that you adapted to them; it's just that you're not even playing them at their best when you get to like game 7 or game 8 or game 9 or whatever. And again,
Yeah.
that could be a personal player problem as well. But you never. I mean, how can you really tell when this person is playing at 100% of his potential versus the other person? It's like it gets all crazy when you start trying to figure that out.
yeah.
And the other thing that Moneymuffins said was like he had played a lot of the people in top 8 after the tournament in first to 5s, and I guess a lot of the people that were in top 8 he beat in first to 5s, and it's like, okay, but even if the tournament format was first to 5 and you lost, that doesn't mean you won't beat them in casuals right after. It's like it's a
Right.
different. I don't see how that has anything to do with the amount of tournament games. That's just another set. Maybe this time you're better prepared, or maybe this time they're not playing as clutch because they don't have anything on the line. So there's that too.
Yeah, it's a lot to consider. I just feel like when I watch a first to 10, I get to see everything I need to know for me to determine, I don't know, which player I think is better. Like at least which player I think I'd be more likely to beat. Just because, I don't know. You get to see, are they falling for gimmicks but still making better reads, or you know what I mean? Like how are they winning or losing?
Right.
PL has amazing mental endurance, for example, can take you to the 13th win in the first 10. Oh, God.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, I guess the word amazing is up for debate there, considering he was on the wrong end of that 13-0. But
Hey, man.
mental endurance, to be sure. That's a lot of crowd noise to tune out and a lot of Twitter feeds.
Wasn't he checking his the Twitter feed during that entire set?
Yeah, like by the end of the thing, he was just like, I guess I'm
Check
just
it.
gonna play with my phone while I get my ass beat here. Classic.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, he endured a lot, so some endurance.
Hey, man.
Gauntlet.
Perfect endurance.
Perfect endurance.
Perfect endurance.
Oh, my God.
It's
Well,
amazing.
all right. Well, I guess getting outside of that, there was. I'm sure everybody here knows by now that there was an announcement regarding Lost Swords.
Oh, yes.
Which has a lot of people excited because of what it could mean for future updates to the series. So, do we get anything at TGS?
Yeah, I guess. Do we get anything at TGS? I wonder.
Tokyo Game Show, for those who
Yeah,
don't know. Might listen to this later.
I believe, how many days is it till Tokyo Game Show? Like,
good question.
I'm not sure, but I guess I would hope so, because I mean, like, they've kind of made like all the like the right things. Saying like, yeah, like our one thing's done. Yeah, like they were pretty much taking like all the funds they made off this game to put into whatever project they have next. So I would hopefully this is me just hoping. I would hope that they would announce it then, because anything after Tokyo Game Show is not until, I guess, a while, or I don't know when else they would do it if they were to. So I guess it's Namco released their game list in Cellular, but it could be a secret game. Same with Tekken 7.
Possibly.
That's a possibility, yeah.
To be honest, at this point for me, I can't see any way Soul Calibur 6 doesn't get made, even if they don't announce it at Tokyo Game Show. So it's just a waiting game for me at this point. If it doesn't show up at TGS, fine. If it doesn't show up at NEC, fine. If it doesn't show up at whatever conventions are in between that, fine. But I can't see it not coming out.
That's we're just really just playing the waiting game.
Because like they did all the stuff like the poll for the characters and all that, and it would have made like, so who was it? Taki and Talim that were like the top two in the poll. For the character poll. So if they had put, I think Taki was already in Lost Swords, but if they had put Talim in Lost Swords, then I would have said, okay, that was just to see who they wanted to put in Lost Swords. But like, I figured like they're trying to get research and get information from the fan base for a reason, and I don't think that it couldn't. It would be weird if it wasn't Soul Calibur 6. I'll just put it that way.
Alex, they said that the poll was like specifically not for Lost Swords, so that's not. I guess that's one of the big things why everyone was like thinking like, yeah, this is probably a big indicator. But
yeah, because I thought it was for Lost Swords at first.
Yeah, but them putting that big thing down was pretty much the main thing, is saying like, hey, yeah, it's not for Lost Swords, so don't think it is. So I'm patient, so I'm waiting for whenever. So because I'm
just age Talim a little bit. That's all I ask. If she's 15 again after 6 years, like, oh my god.
I feel like if that happens, a Pacific audience may be lost.
Yeah, well, look, fuck them. I just want an adult Talim.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're a Talon player.
Yeah, most people did.
Damn.
It's been that long. Yep. I mean, if Leisha's still in the game, which I don't see why she wouldn't be, I'll probably use her too. But yeah, if I'm waiting for that announcement more than anything else.
Older Leisha.
Yeah, probably.
Oh man, it still reminds me of that time at TFC.
We're gonna have
yeah, we were all. Remember that, Zach? When we were all sitting there, and then it's like, oh man, I don't like Soul Calibur because they got rid of Talim.
Oh right, yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
I mean, look, it's not the worst excuse I've heard for why people don't like Soul Calibur 5. So
it's pretty up there.
Did somebody recently try to like? Oh, maybe that was a Summer Jam chat that I'm thinking about. I mean, people would just come in there and be like, "This is the worst game in the series because reasons." And it's like, yeah, because Fuzion was in there and he was arguing with the guy.
Oh yeah, I went ham on that guy.
Oh, yeah, I think it was Golden Boy, if I remember.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, well, he always has dumb. He never actually.
He was complaining about Viola being broken, and
yeah, which she has. That argument has been invalid for like I don't know how many years.
And I think every Viola on stream got lost. So
yeah, every Viola that lands an insane combo on stream is broken and needs to be removed.
The best was like every time he said it, then somebody beat Viola.
Yeah, I know.
It's like good stuff.
It's like the character was never really that broken. Just you kind of everyone had to kind of take the time to figure it out.
She's pretty dumb. I mean,
yeah, I know she's dumb, but
you gotta understand that the people. Yeah, but the people who are saying this are not the guys who are hardcore about 5 to begin with to even know how to approach Viola. So all they see is Viola one-touch combos, and they're like, yeah, this game sucks. It's like,
I just hate that mentality though. Like I don't go to some other game. Oh, this guy just got hit 7 times. I'm pretty sure that's broken. Like you don't know this game. Please don't tell us what's broken and what isn't.
no, maybe not. Maybe broken's not the right word, but I know I've seen some Marvel stuff from Marvel 2 and 3, and then now with Mortal Kombat 10, where I've looked at it and go, man, how is anybody supposed to fundamentally beat this without just like rolling the dice and hoping for the best? So it's like, all right, maybe I don't use the word broken, but shit.
Yeah. I don't
And
know.
we're also kind of spoiled from Soul Calibur, since Soul Calibur gives you so many mechanics to like fight stuff. Like just ring outs in general is a mechanic that's essentially a comeback factor if you position people right.
Yeah. Oh man. But who wants Viola back in 6?
Not I.
Not I.
Viola, I don't think she'll be back. And it's not because of that. I think she'll just be replaced with Amy.
Yeah, no, it's like the return of Amy.
Yeah.
Please no, please no Soul Calibur for Amy, because I watched those like thing and she looks fucking stupid.
She's pretty dumb.
All I saw was just her stabbing the ground constantly over and over again, and it kept working. I'm like, this is so fucking stupid. What am I watching?
Oh man.
It was like, yeah, it was Zeph versus Ninja Guy. That's what it was.
Well, first to 5. They were,
Oh really?
It was like, yeah, it was like a thing like they were both playing Amy, and it was just, I wanted to stop watching. It was just so bad.
Yo, main war, is that a troll question?
Do you think Mitsurugi will be in it? Come
I don't
on,
know.
man.
I guess the day Mitsurugi misses a Soul Calibur is the day Sub-Zero misses a Mortal Kombat game.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Hey, man. Means I always will have my main with me, so I'm happy.
And it's funny because like the characters like Viola and Zwei, like Zwei is on the opposite end of the spectrum, but like I like those characters in concept, but for some reason they just didn't execute like. Well, I guess you can argue Viola did because she's pretty good, but
Nah, here's what happened.
like I like the concept of Viola more so than Viola the character.
Yeah, I get that. I kind of like the concept too, but in practice, it's like
Yeah.
weird.
I kind of feel like basically like Amy just pretty much took all the good stuff that Zwei was supposed to have and just became Viola. It's like, sorry, you kind of just have one good one and one bad one, so you're gonna have to deal with it. Sorry.
All right, I mean, I didn't realize you were new. Okay, well, my bad.
It's alright,
We're
man.
not used to people saying they're
Yeah.
new around here. Most
Quit
people say
alienating
they're the
people,
best
Zach.
ever.
Oh yes, should have missed this cast. Y'all would have done great.
God.
Nah, Mitsu, Siegfried, Ivy, like those are characters you almost guarantee
Yeah.
in pretty much every Soul Calibur game.
A thing I'm wondering is, will Killick get his actual style back, or will he remain like a continuous like what's the word for like the character that has multiple
Mimic
styles?
character.
Yeah, a mimic character.
I don't think
Yeah.
he'll be a mimic character. I think that was just a rush.
Yeah, you're probably right because I'm pretty sure when I got to that bottom of the screen, it's like, all right, fuck, what do we do now? We're out of characters.
Because you think about it, they had Edgemaster already planned,
Yeah.
and then they decided, okay, we need 2 more slots, so we'll make one guy be all the male characters and one be all the female.
The female.
Hello?
Whoa,
Can you
what?
hear me?
What the?
It's
Hello.
me,
Oh,
Jay.
it's Jay.
Remember me from 5 minutes before you guys started?
5 minutes. It was like 30.
Hey, remember me?
We waited for like half
No,
an hour.
it was specifically 8:54. I'm pretty sure that's when Comcast went out.
Yeah, we waited.
I've been sitting
We
here.
didn't start at 9 though. We
Oh,
started-
okay.
so,
I've been sitting here doing Jack, waiting for Comcast to come back. And what I can say is that I'm in a great mood right now, and I'm ready to talk for 2 minutes before you guys finish, I guess.
I think I don't know how
So
much
here
time-
we go.
Shout
It's gonna be
out
great.
to Comcast though. That was a
Shout
great
out to
advertisement.
Shout outs to fucking Comcast.
What wonderful guys.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think he's just in time for like one last topic.
Fantastic.
Oh, my
I
God.
asked McGee if you wanted me on because he said that you guys were just about wrapping up, but if you wanted my thoughts on whatever the last thing was, it's fine.
Okay. Yeah, we were just talking about Soul Calibur 6 stuff from the Lost Swords announcement.
Okay.
Other than that, okay. Well, I'll ask the question again since we did it before, and I wanted to get you and IRM, but obviously he's not here.
Has he not been here the whole time?
No, he hasn't. But anyway, the question was, how much do you feel having confidence in your play affects your results?
Oh, okay. It's this one. I think I'm kind of the poster boy for having as little confidence as possible.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think it's been a long running thing for quite some time. WindofMitsu, you and I have had conversations about this. Great One was a big proponent of the idea that the negative mentality affects my performance or anybody's performance if they feel that way. I feel like that is stupid. I've never really believed that. I think it's very easy to separate one's expectations from one's actual performance.
Right.
If anything, I believe that I'm an example of that. I cannot tell you how many times I've gone into a tournament match expecting to lose and having still come out on top. And so I think the results speak for themselves.
Okay. Wait, why am I echoing? Did you mute your stream, Jay?
Oh, no. How do I...
Just mute the stream.
Yeah.
Or click the pause.
Well, I don't have the stream open right now.
But yeah, I figured that out with when I was talking.
Somebody
with Jay.
does. All right.
But no, I figured it out with Jay about that almost like at first I immediately was the thing was his negative outlooks were the reason why he didn't get good until like he fully explained to me where he immediately separated his views from his actual play, which made a lot of sense because the thing like you're allowed to make a fair reasonable point and like thinking like what's going to happen, but you also have the power to change that by how you play, which now something I'm like, all right, this makes a great amount of sense, and I'm like, it's like actually this does not affect him whatsoever. So
yeah, it really doesn't.
Exactly. But
was that a different response than you got from the first time you asked the question?
Well, considering you weren't here to answer it, yeah. But
yeah.
Outside of that, no. We pretty much covered both ends of it.
Although I would have been interested to hear IRM sing because like even he's always so confident going into everything, and he's always got like he never has like a negative thing. I mean,
the one thing that I didn't say, there's a difference. You don't have to be angry though, because I mean I know it kind of went into when you get emotional playing a game, and you don't have to be that to be confident though. You can just be composed without, you don't have to be like raging or oh man, I'm about to lose. Like it doesn't have to go that far for you to just be confident. IRM, I don't know. See, the thing is, like IRM has a reputation of talking a lot of shit and stuff like that, but I don't think he actually. Well, I might regret this, but I don't think he actually he believes it. But I think there's an amount of respect that he has for his opponent where it doesn't. Like when he sits down, he knows, okay, this is not going to be easy. That's what I get from him anyway. But that could just be my experience with him.
I feel it's off and on. Like sometimes he feels that way. It really kind of depends on the day and who he's really looking to beat at that particular tournament. Sometimes I would say he does respect me a lot, and then sometimes I would say that he doesn't. Though I would say the former is more prevalent nowadays than it was in the past when we first were starting to know each other.
Right.
But yeah, it's off and on with him, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're used to winning against somebody, even if you're humble, it still sticks in your mind.
Yeah.
Like, I beat this guy all the time, so it, like, instinctively you don't feel like you need to keep your guard up as much, but...
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you never know, though, sometimes. I remember, like, I played, in Soul Calibur 4 especially, like, with Doug, Sporko. Fundamentally, I was a stronger player than him, but you just didn't know on any given weekend if he was going to beat me or not. And we had gone back and forth in terms of results at that point. And he'll tell you the reason why is because Valdo just destroyed Talum. But regardless of that, even though I knew I had a better chance, I couldn't realistically go in and go, well, I'm going to win because last couple of times it was 50-50. So
Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to a tournament, it's really it really depends on the day. The people who are winning tournaments, I'm sure this has been around in the Soul Calibur community, but the saying is that it's a matter of who is doing better on that day. It's
Right.
just 3 games, and I don't understand how people can be so confident going in. I don't know how I'm going to do until I'm sitting down on my first tournament match. No matter how many years I've been doing this sort of thing, the first match of the tournament is always where I'm the most nervous. Or the
Really?
first match. Oh yeah, the first match that I play on that particular day is when I'm most nervous, no matter what.
Huh. Okay.
Because I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to be. Some days I might. Some days I might play like the second time I played against Ruthless Void, or sometimes I might play like the first time that I played against Ruthless Void.
Well, yeah, okay. I did want to mention that because we talked about that in the beginning. Ruthless Void in that first match, I know, like, fundamentally you're probably a stronger player than Ruthless Void, but that game, there was no way you could win. And
No.
when I was watching that match, it was like whenever you backstep 3-3B, whenever you decided to stand block 1AA, it was like he just read everything. It was just unfortunate. It was like, oh my God, there's no...
It was 5 to 6
I don't even know what I would
flips
say.
per round, and I lost
Right.
each one. Yeah.
Right. I'm like, if I was there to try and help Jay get through this, I don't even know what I could say because it was just like, look, he's just winning every guessing game.
Well, I just needed to play better. I don't know. Again, I don't know how much time you guys have. I could go into like what I thought about Ruthless Void and everything, but all in all, the first time around, I just needed to straightly play better. I did not space 3-3B very, very well. I wasn't reading. He has a very different style than Woes and a variety of other APAP players that I've played against, and it's something that takes a while for me to get used to, and then once I'm used to it, I feel significantly more confident in playing against it. But again, I don't know how much you want me to get into that match specifically.
That's Party Wolf actually brought up a good point. For me, when I'm the most, I guess I can't say the most nervous, but the one where I actually feel like this game matters is the first of top 8. And that's just because of the layover. Like, if I feel like I'm really doing well on Saturday, and then I have to stop, sleep, come back the next day, then it's I got to regain the fire I had on Saturday. And
yeah, exactly.
That's when I feel like, all right, now this is when it shows, whether I'm going to be consistent or not. And the stream, I don't think the stream bothers me that much. Like the fact that it's online and that's what people are watching, that doesn't bother me because just being in top 8 is important enough in most cases. But it's just that's when you have to prove if you're still consistent from the day before.
The stream doesn't bother me so much. I will admit that having IRM and Zeph to my right, cheering as loudly as possible for me to lose, gets to me every once in a while. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know they were doing that. Okay.
Oh yeah, against Ruthless Void and Ninja Guy. Oh
okay.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with Ninja Guy, because then I would be out.
Well, that's actually the best compliment you can get from those guys. I'm gonna tell you right now.
That's the
they
worst.
Did not want to fight you.
I don't want this fucking circular logic horseshit. I just don't want them doing that.
Well, you got headphones, right?
It does get to me. What's that?
You got headphones, don't you?
Yeah, but then I can't hear like the sounds of the match. Like I don't know.
Don't they have headphones on the set for that?
Yeah, but then it's well, for one, I find their headphones to be uncomfortable.
Well.
And I remember that from NEC. That
more
kind of
uncomfortable than the cheering.
I mean, at that point we're gauging certain levels of uncomfortableness. I don't really know,
That's what
either way.
All right.
Well, I just came back, so.
Oh, you missed that whole thing? I was talking shit about you the whole time.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's rude.
He'll get it. So it'll be on YouTube.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I guess the last thing we can discuss here is, and that's actually good that you came in because you're probably somebody I've talked to about this the most, is how much do you feel a person's, the character that they pick influences their view of the entire game?
Me specifically? You're asking me specifically?
Well, yeah, just like when you see a person's mentality of how the game is played or a specific style, do you attribute that to their character choice or the character they choose to main?
No, not necessarily. Especially, well, you could argue that one's character choice influences the way that they want to play initially, like when a game first comes out. Once a game has been out for as long as SE5 has been out, one gains so much knowledge just from the game in general that it's difficult to have like an individual perspective with a character. But no, I wouldn't really say so, because I think play styles and personalities are innate in one's own self. So it's
Yeah?
kind of like, yeah, I would say that it's really a matter of like trying to find which character expresses your views as much as possible, and yeah, that's what I would say.
Because I'll be honest, I don't see you as a Mitsu. Like when I remember how you played Amy and I remember how you tried to play Ezio, I mean, I see you as a Mitsu now because you played him for so long. But like just looking at what Mitsu's tools are, like the whole poking, spacing game was not really you at first. It was you were more about the mix-ups and
Right.
getting in people's faces. So
Oh, I guess I can see where you're kind of going with that. Well, when I first, I mean, you might remember I picked up Mitsurugi when like the game's been out for like 5 or 6 months, and
yeah,
back
it was
then,
less than a year.
yeah, and back then that's what he was known for. He was known for the mix-ups. That's why I chose him as a character. It wasn't for the poking thing, and I kind of discovered that just in playing him. So
Right.
it wasn't really my intent to become more of a poking kind of thing. I just kind of let the character tell me what he wants to do, I guess. That might sound a little bit too artsy-fartsy, but I mean, it's just the character has certain advantages, and despite the fact that I didn't want to play him for those means, it was just very obvious eventually that that's how he was supposed to be played.
Right. Fusion, you here? What about you?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Just answering something.
Oh, all right.
Are you asking me my opinion on this? I heard the
Yeah.
question.
Okay.
So it's, I'd say over time, it definitely starts to shape your idea of the way the game works. Especially if you really only play that one character that you main, because you're not used to having no character should have every tool, right? That's why the characters are different. So you get like with the Troclus, I'm not expecting to have Ivy's 3A. You know what I mean? Like I don't have certain ranged attacks, and I'm gonna try to land as many 6/6Bs as I can. And then you switch to another character, and the game plan will probably be totally different.
Hey, Patroclus 3A is still pretty good.
It's good, yeah. It just doesn't lead to counter hit, knockdown stuff.
It's like complete anti-Raph, though. That's pretty funny.
Raph's terrible, so everything's anti-Raph that I have.
Poor Raph.
Yeah, no, I just think that's why I think people eventually should. I mean, someone asked recently, can I use two mains? Yeah, you can have. But pick mains that cover each other. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Don't pick Pyrrha and Pyrrha Omega as your two, in my opinion. If you really want to get the most out of having a secondary, don't pick someone who's almost exactly the same as your primary. But yeah, it's good to experiment with different characters at some point.
That is funny because the only character I ever considered using as a secondary was Pyrrha, and believe it or not, Pyrrha and Leisha are extremely similar. Pyrrha's just better, but like as far as what I'm supposed to be doing, they're pretty similar.
I can see that. Leisha's AA B, so good.
Yeah, AA evasion, just mid-range pokes. They don't. I mean, Pyrrha doesn't do that much damage either, in comparison to most of the other characters, but she just has better ways to get it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I would say the thing like that sticks out to me is back in like late Soul Calibur 4 and early Soul Calibur 5 with Ramon. Ramon would always get on me about punishing stuff. And I don't mean like, I mean, whiff punishing is its own thing, but like block punishing and stuff like that, and knowing where you can. And he's absolutely right, but it took me a while to realize like he plays Greeks, and that's like that's what they do. Like, I was used to playing Talum for 3 years, and she couldn't punish jack shit, so she had to pretty much force mix-ups. And so my entire game was, all right, you made a mistake, now you have to guess. When, I mean, I knew you had to punish certain things. Like, I looked up matchups and stuff like that, but my instinct was not to look for punish. It was look for mix-up. So it wasn't until later, like, Leisha has a pretty good punisher. So now it's like, okay, now I can see all the 2Ks I was never punishing before. I can punish them now and things like that. And from playing Leisha, I've also learned how to poke better and move better versus Talum, who didn't have that luxury. She just had to kind of, get in there and force you to guess.
Right.
But it was just funny because it's like punish was the very first thing on his mind. Like, how he evaluated how good or bad a player was punish. And it's like, well, when you play Sophie and Pyrrha, yeah, that is, you have like the best punisher in the game. That's kind of crucial.
Well, at the same time, can we agree that punishing stuff is one of the most important things in fighting
Sure.
games, just as a fundamental?
Sure.
So, I don't really know. Maybe, I can see what you're saying, but at the same time, I kind of disagree in the sense where I would argue that as time went on, if you had continued to play Talum, then you would have just gotten better as a player and would have noticed a lack of punishing on your own, like whether or not you changed characters or not.
Well, it's
yeah.
not so much that I didn't punish. It was the fact that a lot of times I couldn't. So my mind just automatically adapted to the idea that a lot of things I couldn't punish, so I had to rely on other things to get me to be good.
Sure, I'm just saying, like, I feel like given enough time, you would have realized that whether you looked at other characters or not. I just think, like, becoming a better player would have given you, like, the fundamentals that Ramon was looking at. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, even watching Summer Jam, specifically Zeph, you, not so much IRM this time around, because I felt like, I mean, not that he didn't play well, but just that he, when he beat people, it was more of a showcase as opposed to just, like, I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it right now, but, like, with you and Zeph in particular, you had a lot of things that just shut people down. And I don't mean, like, fundamentally as players, but just Patroclus with 66B, Mitsurugi with his poke game and his 2KB Brave Edge and stuff like that, that just make people think about what you're doing more than somebody like Julie, where, I mean, she played well too, and we already gave her props. But when I look at that, it's like, all right, I have to capitalize on more mistakes than other people just based on the nature of my character. So it changes my view of how the dice roll thing goes. Like, I can't really scare people into doing what I want. I have to take away what they want to do, and then they'll hesitate. So it's a different approach to it.
Yeah.
Eventually, it's the same end result, but
we were also faster.
Well, that
so
too.
You have a lot more opportunities to do that kind of thing.
Yeah. So, just thought I'd discuss that because I know me and you have talked about it before, just between the two of us. So, figured maybe Wind or Fuzion or McGee or somebody would have maybe a different outlook.
I mean, it's a weird, for me, I guess it's a weird question. I guess I have a hard time thinking about it because it's like how much the player's character choice affects their view of the game. So, like, I guess, can you help me clarify this? But, like, so yeah, my character choice being Mitsurugi, it's like, are you kind of asking me, like, what is, like, what I understand with this character, like what I can do?
Well, like with Jay, for example, like, recently I talked to him, and one of his criticisms of my play is I don't play disrespectful enough.
Yeah.
Like, I play pretty straight up for the most part, and he's kind of right in that sense. But I feel like there's a difference when people, like, you're disrespecting as Mitsu with the idea in the back of your mind that if I poke out here, he can 4B, or if I poke out here, he can do something else. Whereas in my case, yeah, Laisha has 4-4B, but that's a little bit less of a. Nobody's scared of that move. So it's kind of like, if for me to disrespect them, I have to condition them in other ways.
Yes.
I know you haven't really been playing long, so maybe this is hasn't applied to you yet. But I just feel like where you and when you choose to disrespect people depend on different things.
Yeah. I feel like, almost like since you guys have a lot more experience, like, I get an understanding of what you're meaning, but I guess that's something I would, almost with more experience, I feel like I'd be able to better answer. Because right now, like, I have an idea of what I might want to say about it, but I don't know, just I feel like I'm still a little, like, not exactly sure how to, like, answer it correctly, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
Okay. I don't know, maybe I didn't phrase it quite right.
No, I mean, it came out because I was listening to you and Jay for the most part to try to get an idea. So it's basically, it's almost like I was thinking, I get a general idea, but I guess just almost for my own answer, it would come across, I guess, not as well as you guys put yours, I would say. So I also want to say I would hold off on like what I would be thinking would be, but it's.
Let's just all agree that WindowMitsu is inadequate to answer this question, much like Min.
Wow.
Sounds good.
Eat a dick.
I mean, he could have just stopped at this question, but he had to dig the knife in a little deeper.
Yeah. I know what I'm doing.
Well, no. I remember me and you, Win, talked about this before. Not quite the same thing, but you were talking about how the character, this late in the game, the character doesn't matter so much.
Yeah.
In terms of, I guess, well, we were talking about me specifically at the time. But I was like, okay, but even if you take a small example like Pyrrha having stab, that makes throwing things like 2K a big deal. Like, if they can stab that all the time, that becomes a liability in a match. Whereas there's maybe 2 or 3 characters that can really hurt you for doing that. And if a character especially doesn't have a really strong low besides that, where they kind of need the 2K as their mix-up tool, that becomes a big metagame that's not present if you don't play that character or if somebody's not playing Pyrrha. So there is certain situations like that where character choice affects your view of not just a matchup, but how to approach your basic mix-up game.
Are you just like saying, zooming out? I'm zooming out. Sorry, like I was like trying to listen to this because I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man.
Oh man.
Welcome to Zach the podcast, everybody. I'm glad everybody.
God, everyone's canceling now. I do remember, you talking about this because basically about you were almost like suggesting to switch to Pyrrha and all that. And I do remember that. It's,
Please tell me you're going to do that, Zach.
Say what?
Really hope that Zach switches to Pyrrha. That would be...
Still holding out. Still waiting.
Still waiting on him to choose a character that doesn't give him a massive goddamn disadvantage right out of the gate. Just try it. Just try not being miserable from 0.01 seconds of playing the goddamn game. It's gonna be great. You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I don't know where to put this.
Like, I'm probably out of most of us here, I'm probably the one that enjoys the game the most. That's the sad part. That's the funny thing. But, all right. So yeah. I guess did McGee fall off? Like.
No, I think McGee's still here.
Okay.
We were all listening to you, Zach. You were saying stuff that was so rich in food. You just got us all mesmerized by your eloquence.
Rich in food?
Yeah, man.
What does that mean?
Oh, man.
Rich in food?
You know, like content.
Okay. All right.
All right, that's a sign. We gotta
pack it up.
We're done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shut down the stream, Spooky.
Spooky.
You're all free.
You're all free now.
Alright. Okay. Thank you for watching Spectator cast number 12. Jay, thanks for being on for like 20 minutes.
Yes, thank you for having me on in the last bit. Hopefully if you guys have me on, I won't have so many issues for such an extensive amount of time.
No
Jay,
Comcast.
Do you want
Comcasted again.
to shamelessly shout out your YouTube channel?
Eye of the Samurai. I'm going to be doing another video by the end of this weekend. I did this on Partisans podcast last weekend, and I'm assuming the same people are watching this podcast. So, yeah, you guys heard it before, and you'll hear from me by the end of this weekend.
All
Okay.
right.
All right, man.
Sweet.
Okay.